Welcome back to Delboy's Garage. Right, now today I've had a little request just on private mail from someone called Luke in Texas. Whatcha Luke? He's just done what many guys do. He's sold his Japanese bike and he's gone to a Harley. Harley Davidsons have some differences that Japanese bikes don't have, and a couple of those present difficulties that we've never seen before, and Luke's having that classic problem. On adjusting the rear wheel alignment of a Japanese bike, quite simply, you have stamped marks on the back of your swing arm and you align the axle with the stamped marks. But as any of you out there with a Harley will know, you don't have those stamped marks in the back. They're just not there, they don't put them there. They use a different system. And Luke's asked me, how do you do it? Well, it's pretty simple. Now, one thing that the dealer told our Luke in classic Harley dealer style is to buy a laser wheel aligner for stupid dollars and ridiculous cents, no doubt. But you don't need one. There's a MacGyver way to do it. Now, I'm not a gadget freak. As you all know me, I don't really get into gadgets. I'm not really into tools and toys. I just use the old analog method with things. And there's a very simple method. Before you start using gadgets for anything, you should learn the old way, the way your grandpa did it. Because that's what the gadget does. It does the old way in a gadget way. It's as simple as that. So before you start using gadgets, you should learn how to do it manually. And this is how to do it. It's very simple. So come really close, I'll show you quick. Right, I'm going to show you how to do it in the simple way using roll of gaffer tape. Eagle-eyed among you will notice this is not gaffer tape. This is just box tape. Any tape that doesn't stretch. Gaffer tape's the best. I haven't got any, so I'm just using this. A pencil and a nail. And this is the simplest way. You'll notice that the principle of aligning the back wheel on any motorcycle is to get that axle that goes across the bike at absolute 90 degrees to the direction of travel. And then the bike will go up the road in a straight line, it won't crab. That's extremely important in all seriousness, because when you go around a corner, if your back wheel is out of alignment, the bike can just drop on its side. It's a very dangerous business. You must make sure your alignment is correct. Now on a Harley, as you notice here, excuse that white marker paint, there's no stamp marks. There's nothing there that tells you where to align that to. So when you adjust this back and tighten your belt, this is what Luke's got a problem with. He doesn't understand where do you align this to, what point of reference do you measure. It's very simple. The point of measure is here. Now the axle, or the swing arm pivot, whatever you choose to call it in whatever part of the world you are, that axle that goes right through the bike, that is guaranteed to be 90 degrees to the bike. That is 90 degrees to the centre line of the bike, guaranteed. So that's your point of reference. That point there, if you look at the swing arm shaft, in the centre, it has a little tiny dent in the centre, and that's there for a reason. That's your point of reference. So you simply measure from that to the centre of that, both sides. It's ever so easy, and this is what I do. Take a piece of tape, a little bit longer than it needs to be. Wrap a nail in the end. It doesn't have to be accurate. It's not about how parallel it is and so on. It just has to be a point at which it won't move. Now you roll that in and it sticks, and then all we do on the other end is take the pencil and just roll it in. Now that's too long at the minute, give or take. So all we do, you stick the pencil and that in the centres. So we've got that point there. Now this tape stretches very, very slightly. Gaffer tape doesn't stretch at all, so it's better to use that. And that's all I do. You can use a tape measure, but tape measures are not accurate like the point of a nail. So stick the point of the nail in that hole, and then come back to the centre of the axle. And then hold that simple, come around the other side of the bike, and then all we do, we stick the nail in the front, and hey presto, it's in the centre. Ever so simple. Now there's loads of ways you can do it. You can use the pencils, you can use a bit of string as long as it doesn't stretch, you can use a tape measure, whatever it is. But just to let you know, Luke, that point there is your point of reference, and you measure from there back to the centre of there with whatever method you think is accurate. You can use something daft like this if you want to have a bit of fun. You can use a tape measure, but you do not need an expensive piece of kit like a laser wheel aligner. That's all you need to do. Just go that to there, and then effectively, provided that distance is exactly the same as the distance the other side, then that axle is guaranteed to be parallel to that axle, and that axle is parallel to the bike. That's your fixed point. Alright, I'm sure that's pretty straightforward. So there you go. It's as simple as that. You can do these things for nothing. It doesn't cost a lot. It isn't even in the manual, believe it or not. There's nothing that says anything in the manual that says how to do that, which is staggering. It really is, because the rear wheel alignment is extremely important. You don't adjust the back wheel or pull it back as much as you do on a chain, because you adjust chains all the time. But on a belt you don't adjust it so much, but you do need to check sure that it's tensioned. So if you're checking the deflection on your belt and you need to tighten it a bit, that's the method you use. Simple bit of gaffer tape, a nail and a pencil each end. Just make sure that they're the same both sides. Simple as that. There you go. Thanks for tuning in, watching Delboy's Garage. Ride safe everyone. See you next time.